Google Sites Session 1. The first thing you need to know is Google is in a transition from classic sites to versus new sites. So I want to show you how to make sure you're in the correct version, because we are going to learn about new sites, because eventually classic sites will go away. So there's no point learning something that sooner or later will no longer exist. There are a few ways to get to Google Sites, but I want to make sure you get into the correct version. If you search for Google Sites on the web and you come to this site, sites.google.com, you're in the old version of Sites. You can tell this by you have a choice here for New Google Sites, or under Create, you can say in New Sites. So if you go this way and go into sites.google.com, make sure you either click on New Google Sites and it will take you to New Google Sites, or under Create, choose New Site. You do want to see this is what it looks like if you create a new site. If you do a search for Google Sites or New Google Site and you come to the URL with the new at the end and the interface looks like this, you're in the right spot. To create a site from here, all you need to do is click the plus sign in the lower right corner of the screen. When you do, you will see the new interface for Google Sites. Here is what New Google Sites looks like. Now, the final way of connecting to Google Sites is through Google Drive, and I'd say this is the easiest way. So if you go into your Google Drive and go to the New menu and go down to More, you will now see Google Sites. It will open to the new interface for Google Sites and you'll be able to start creating your site. Just make sure your interface looks like this, or you are in the old version of Sites, or called Classic version. There are certain things you want to think about when you're creating your site. Who is your audience? What are you trying to convey? Those kind of things will lend themselves to what your design features are, to choose appropriate colors and fonts and images. You want to make sure you use the white space appropriately, that there isn't a lot of blank empty space for people to have nothing to look at. Another feature you want to make sure is you use images that add value to your website, not images for the sake of images that are distracting. Sometimes people overdo images and it takes away from the information they are trying to convey, which is the main purpose of your website, to convey some kind of information. More things to think about in your content. Most important information goes above the fold. That means when your web page opens, that first screen that people see, you want to make sure you have your important information there so people do not have to scroll down too far. Now, mind you, you can have links in that section above the fold so people know they can click and go further down the page, but you want to convey your important content and main ideas above the fold. Your headings should make sense so people are understanding what the heading is going to talk about and what information will be below the heading. You do not want a website to be text heavy. That's not what they're for. Keep paragraphs short and sweet. And there's a 15-second rule. If someone is searching the web and they can't find what they want within about 15 seconds of looking at your page, they're going to go to another page. So that's why it's very important to put important content at the top of your page so you can catch the person's attention. Also, on navigation, you do not want to use more than 5 to 7 links on each page. You want to use subpages, and we'll talk more about that in future sessions. So in other words, you don't want to have 20 links on a page. You need to be able to organize links and think, how can you organize your pages so that you'd have some subpages off your main pages. Let's go over a few things about creating your website. If you use the old sites, You will either be thrilled by the simplicity or annoyed by the fact that they took many options away. But for most people, this interface is far easier to use than the old classic sites. Once you've gone and created a page, you will have an untitled site. Click up in the upper left corner to title your site. This is not the title of the page, but the title of your whole website. And unlike in classic sites, you can name it whatever you want and you don't have to worry about spaces and punctuation. So I could title my site by simply clicking on Untitled Site, Mrs. Warsh's practice site. Name it something that you want, okay? That is your overall site. Then in terms of pages, here's my first pages. Here's how you can click your page title. Notice my site name appears right here. Adding pages is simple. If you click on pages, here I am on my home page, and I can click on the plus sign and add a new page. So maybe I will call this homework. Here I am on my homework page. If I click on the home page, it will take me back to my main page. Remember, the one didn't have the title, and look, my link to my page is already over there. We'll talk about page orders and subpages later, but I just wanted to show you a couple basics of starting your page. An important feature of sharing is deciding who you're going to share your page with. You have a number of different options, just like you did in classic sites. To share your page, simply click on the sharing icon. It's the person with the plus sign next to them. Click on the sharing icon and you have your choice. Who can edit? Right now, only I can edit. If you want to invite people to collaborate with you, you can click on Change. And you can say, I want it public on the web, which means anyone on the internet can find and access. If I don't want them to be able to edit, you probably don't want this choice. Anyone with the link can also edit, or off specific people. I would choose the specific people because these two leave you open for anyone to edit your page. So that's something different in terms of sharing versus sharing in classic. If you want to invite certain people, you just need their names and their email addresses, and you can invite them down here. One other thing, if you invite people to edit, you can check this off to prevent editors from publishing or changing access or adding new people. So if you don't want somebody that you invited to edit your page to be able to publish the page or mess with anybody's access or add new people, you want to check this box off. When you have the people that you want added, you just need to click in the done box down here. So that's how you share with collaborators. Not share with the world at large, but share with collaborators. Now you're ready to practice. Create a site in New Sites and share it with me, your instructor. You just have to name the site. In Edmodo, in the assignment 1, just type in why you chose the name for your site to turn it in. You could also email me, turn in the link to your site, but I will have it and be notified if you share it with me at my email.